Hey there, Midtown 12 South, coming at you again for week 4 of these little pastoral video check-ins. And I just want the record to show that 4 weeks in, this is not what I want to do as a pastor. This is not how I love getting to shepherd the people of 12 South. I miss you. I miss seeing you. I miss getting check-ins and catch-ups and hearing how people are doing. And one of the curses of this social distancing is that we just don't get to be together. And we miss you. I miss you. The elders miss you. And we hope and long for the day when we can be together again in person. But I know one of the things that's beginning to set in this new normal, this new rhythm of things, is now that we've been in this for a little while, for 6 or 7 weeks, we're beginning to then turn and look into the future. If we hadn't already, we're beginning to turn and look into the future and wonder just how long are we going to be doing this? And everybody wants to know the answer to the governor's mandates and what are the new norms going to be when those days come. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. I want to invite us all for a brief moment back to where the Bible calls the Christian to spend its time. And I mean time in the sense of we are tempted many days and many moments to spend a lot of our time in our past wondering how things could have gone, and in our future wondering how things might go. And what the Bible continually calls the Christian to do is to spend its time in the present moment of each day. Matthew 6 says, don't worry about tomorrow, because today has enough worry of its own. And James chapter 4 says that you don't even know what tomorrow's going to bring. Your life is a mist. You have no clue what tomorrow's going to bring. And if there's anything that this quarantine season has taught us, is that we don't have any idea what tomorrow's going to bring. No one would have believed 2 months ago that this would be our new normal, that we would have friends filing for unemployment, that we would have bills that we're not sure we're going to be able to pay, that we would be doing everything virtually. No one knows what tomorrow is going to bring. And what all this invites us is the scary invitation that the Bible talks about is the art of being present. The art of being present with yourselves so that you can then begin to experience the art of being truly present with someone else. And ultimately, the goal would be and the hope would be that we would all be able to be so present with ourselves that we could be present with Jesus too. I'm reading The Alchemist as one of my quarantine reads, classic novel, and one of the wise men in that book says to the shepherd boy, hero of the book, he says that the secret of wisdom and joy is all wrapped up in the present moment, which is a scary thing for many of us, because the present moment for many of us, when we've tried to be present, we don't know what the present is going to bring up in us, that it could bring up this past shame and past accusations for what we've done. It certainly, when we try to be present, could bring up our current misery, our current discontentment for how things are. That when I'm present, I've got to deal with what is, and what is really painful, potentially, for many of us. And then sometimes the present, we're scared that what's going to come up is all of our future fears, and so it's really hard to learn this art of being present. In the book of Hebrews, the author of Hebrews says there's actually a secret. There's a secret to learning how to be present and content in each and every present moment. And it's the Christian idea, it's the Christian reality that your Jesus is with you and he will not leave you or forsake you. And maybe that's a hard jump to make, that wait, how is the secret of being content in the present learning the conviction that Jesus is with me and will not leave me or forsake me? And it's this, it's that if Jesus is with me, then I don't need anything else in that moment. And if every moment Jesus is with me, I don't need to be rehashing my past. And I certainly don't need to be figuring out my future and the things that I'm afraid of. And I don't even have to be disappointed in what I'm experiencing in a present moment, whether that be anger or bitterness or fear or worry or joy, because whatever I'm experiencing, my Jesus is there with me and he will not leave me or forsake me. Jesus is not with the future me that I want to be. He's not with the person I thought I would be up until this point through my past. The real Jesus is with the real you and with the real me. In one way, we begin to step into this art of being present, of practicing what Hebrews calls us is the secret of contentment, is that Jesus is with me in whatever I'm doing that day. Whatever my new normal has become, that if it's homeschooling your kids or trying to figure out how to work virtually or trying to figure out how you're going to pay bills, whatever your new normal is of doing dishes and doing laundry and doing lesson plans that you never thought you'd do, one of the facets of the art of being present is receiving the present moment, knowing that it is what your Jesus has for you in that moment. And that we would lean into the present moment instead of imagining what my life would be like without all the things that bother me. That we would learn the art of being present because my Jesus is with me in the present and he will not leave me or forsake me. That what if what came out of this quarantine season was that the seeds began to be planted and then began to be watered, where we learn the art of being present. That in future months and in future seasons, after much time and much practice of learning how to be present, we would begin to experience real joy. We would begin to experience real contentment because my contentment and my joy is not being robbed from my past or robbed from my future. I'm able to be with the real Jesus who's with the real me. It's our hope and our prayer for our people that amidst all of the crazy and the chaos, that we would begin to learn the art of being present together. I love you. Hope to see you all very soon in person.